I'm hungry.
2 days we have sampled some different parts of poultry, but now it's time to get to the heart of the matter. Uncle Giuseppe's presents to you the chicken heart. This thick, dark meat is rich in copper, zinc, protein, iron, and most importantly, B vitamins. Aside from its nutritive benefits, chicken hearts are proven to be great for mental health, as well as for building stamina. The idea may be out of a horror show, but prepared correctly, chicken hearts can be a welcome addition to a healthy diet.
And so, dear fellows, here we begin part 3 of our little chicken expedition. What makes me think this is going to be any better than parts 1 and 2? I give to you the chicken heart. My mind is swirling with pain and nonsense right now, and to have to do this episode, to have to be burdened with eating this on top of everything that's I'm already going through. It's like torturing the already tortured man. It's like waterboarding somebody while peeling off their fingernails. It's like somebody puppeteering your arm to slap you in the face while simultaneously cutting the same arm off. You know, looking at these red/brown blobs of meat reminds me of a little experience from my prior life. A simple experience. And before I begin with this little tale, I should give the fair warning that this story might not be for the faint of heart. If you happen to be eating while watching this, especially if you're eating chicken, or if you just happen to have a weak stomach or are easily disturbed, I advise you all to skip to this handy little timestamp on the screen right here. As for those of you who are watching this live right now, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Simply stick your fingers in your ears like so and make this noise. La 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 la. And I promise I'll try to give you a hand signal or something on when to stop. And because I do not besmirch all the popular brands on this show, I'll be leaving the specific name of this chicken brand out of the story. All you gotta know is it starts with the letter B. So, here's the scenario. I'm about to dive into this fried chicken carcass. I stick my fork in and I pull some of the meat up. And let me tell you, it was like I just performed surgery on the thing. I opened up this fried chicken breast, and what's shown before me was a full pulmonary circulatory system, all black and shriveled up from the oven. You could clearly make out the lungs, you could clearly make out the heart, you could clearly make out a stomach. I think there were kidneys in there. This whole experience changed my whole outlook on eating chicken. It disturbed me to the point where not only did I stop eating that brand, but I swore off fried chicken for a good couple of months. And even now as I eat it, I can't shake that image from my mind. At least that's the way I remember it. For all I know, maybe all this stuff happened not to me, but to my wife, and I'm misremembering it, i.e. it's being written into my character as being my backstory. Curse this fourth wall crap. But it really does go to show the amount of work it must be to get a chicken from the butcher to your plate. I mean, have you ever opened up a chicken and as you were eating it, you encountered all this gray mush? We all have, right? And you probably never thought about it much. That is probably the very same organs that I saw that day, but the machine that they used to pull them out of the chicken, misfired somehow. It didn't grab all of them, twisted them, and mashed them up, and left some remnants of them in the chicken for you to enjoy. And I would bet anything that the chance of this happening has gotta be pretty high, right? I mean, you think of the sheer amount of fried chickens that are produced daily, sliding all down the assembly line, all being gutted by the same machine. Is that machine gonna be right on the money 100% of the time? Hell, I have a change sorter in the other room and it screws up all the time. It's constantly putting dimes in my penny rolls. These machines, they make mistakes. These machines, they need maintenance every once in a while. And you think that every chicken on the assembly line is being quality checked by a human being? What a hoot. So just keep that in the back of your mind, friends. Every time you eat a fried chicken, you are taking a gamble. Oh yeah, right, the hand signal. Welcome back, guys. I've gone through chicken livers, I've gone through chicken gizzards, but this one right here might be my grandest challenge yet, because I know in the back of my mind that every little morsel that's here in this package is a life of a chicken. It's not just some random parts. Each one of these was the lifeblood. Each one of these was keeping a chicken alive, and I have to have that weighing on my conscience as I eat this. And I'm sure a good portion of the viewing audience is going to be looking on me as some kind of heathen, because here I am, I'm looking at a whole pile of chicken hearts, each one of these organs indicative of a chicken's life. I'm probably going to eat like one or two of them, and then the rest are going to go in the trash, and it'll be inadvertently my fault that all these chickens were massacred. But the way I see it, I mean, I have a little bit of an out here, because you look at the sell-by date on this package of meat here. This had 1 day before it went into the trash, people. So at least I'm honoring the beast somehow and doing something with the meat. And as I peruse the pack, my eyes do not approve of what they see. I see all sorts of chambers. I see meaty hoses. But it's gotta be better than those chicken livers, right? I mean, look at the color. The color, it's not exactly aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but those livers were even darker and even greasier and even glistening-er than this, so it's gotta taste more like meat. It's gotta be better than those chicken gizzards, right? Because they're squishy. My finger actually pokes into them, meanwhile those gizzards were like poking into bone. What really worries me about this product above all else is if I bite into it, am I gonna feel the things that I've been taught are inside a heart? Are my teeth gonna squish through ventricles and shit? Is this gonna be the same thing as the B fried chickens all over again, but to more of a minute detail? When I take a bite of a chicken heart, are my teeth just gonna continue to sink through it because it's semi-hollow on the inside until it comes to a chamber and my teeth are gonna stop? I'm gonna have to bite harder to crunch through that chamber and it's gonna be hollow again, stop, and then hollow, stop, like you're biting into an empty bento box made of flesh? Holy hell, I thought the recuperative period of a week would suffice, but no! I am not in the right mind to be eating a package of chicken hearts right now. This is way too disturbing. I wish I could just take this package of chicken hearts and throw it away! Did you hear that? That wasn't real, I swear. I added that in post. Was that funny? Fart sound effects are always comedy gold. Before I eat this, I gotta be frank with all y'all. I'm just not ready to eat this. I need more blood. I need more energy. But do I really? Why was I written to be so weak? Was I written to be Afterlife's punching bag? It's bad enough I failed at life. I couldn't even handle a Rumble and Half show and ended up killing me, but I can't handle my afterlife either? What a character! I'm even more weak than Doctor Strange! Here's Mocha's Limbo Grub 10. One thing I've been cursed with my whole life, I guess I should start saying that in air quotes, who knows at this point. I've always used simile and metaphor to describe things on this show. Comparing one experience to another experience has become one of the tenets of Limbo Grub. And at times these have gotten so weird and out of control, even I don't know what I was thinking. So, while I try to squeeze some of the blood out of these hearts and try to pump them into my starving veins, I give to you the top 10 Limbo Grub similes and metaphors! Is it like lighting that money on fire right in front of your face? It's like taking the Venus de Milo and deciding to paint it all sorts of fleshy, realistic tones. You might make it look better, but you're messing with something that's beloved! He's gonna clock in, he's gonna put in a nice 8-hour day in your mouth. He's gonna take every individual tooth and he's gonna give it 2 coats of paint. He's gonna get all the sides of your mouth. He's gonna take your tongue, he's gonna hold it up with one arm and go la 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 la. Go out and look this up. VH1 did like a performance of Peter Gabriel's Your Eyes. You know that song? Well, they did it live on stage with Peter Gabriel there, alongside Natalie Merchant, Joan Osborne, and Gloria Estefan. 3 three very, very different voices. And you can imagine what that was like when it all went together. Normally when you do a duet or like any kind of harmonizing, the voices all come back and they form a single unit. This, all the voices were like bumping around like little ping pong balls in a tumbler. But how do you get that to turn into this? Did somebody just pour a carton of silk soy milk into a 3D printer and then go online and find like a vegan jerky ROM? You install that ROM and you hit print and it goes boom, beef jerky! A long time ago, I compared something to going to Burger King and playing with the fountains there and mixing flavors, like putting like orange Sunkist in with your Coca-Cola root beer, mixing it all together. This is kind of like going to Panera, and you know how they have like a soda fountain and they have that other fountain that has like all sorts of weird fruit teas and exotic stuff? It's like taking Coke and mixing some of that stuff into there. It's just way too, they're on two different planets. It's too foreign. Picture food quality, actual food quality, and that goes for how good it is for you and how good it tastes, is an actual building. And the levels of food quality are actual floors in this building. Suppose some twat came along and decided, you know what? This building needs a basement! So he gets a whole bunch of friends, he brings some shovels, they start digging and digging and digging, and like, wow, this floor's giving away really easy, let's keep going really as deep as we can! And they keep going and going and going! And they never hit any like hard patches, they just keep digging forever! Blueberry toast crunch! Oh wow, churros! I love churros! Sugar cookie toast crunch? Am I lost? And the further out you get from Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the weirder and weirder the streets get. Strawberry Toast Crunch? Cinnamon Toast Crunch Remix? Yeah, honey, it's saying Dulce de Leche Toast Crunch. I didn't even know Dulce de Leche Toast existed! And the main rule of alchemy is the even exchange. To get something out, you have to put an equal amount of something else in. With this, you had normal cotton candy, delicious cotton candy. You decided to infuse the flavor of bacon into that cotton candy. Something had to come out. What had to come out? The fun. For every bit of bacon that you shove into cotton candy, you get equal amounts of fun that leave. They would screw these mason jars into their poop holes and go, and then pee in them as well, so the little poop is floating around in like a nice, safe, like, I don't know, it kind of like kept the smell in. They capped them up real tight and rolled them over to the end of the ship. Now, what I'm looking at right here, it is disguised as Mrs. Adler's pike and whitefish, but what this actually is Huguenot poop extracted from the Isle of Tears. I look at this jar and I see the tale of two farmers. I see proud Cletus and I see Wilford. They grew stalks and stalks of the shit and they tasted one. I'm like, this shit doesn't taste like anything at all. And Cletus is like, oh, don't worry, Wilford, we're still gonna turn a profit. And Wilford's panicking, oh no, look at it looks all grotesque and nobody's gonna buy a product that looks like this. And proud Cletus is like, oh, don't worry, I got my trusty carving knife. People are never gonna buy this. This still looks all so ugly. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And proud Cletus is like, don't worry, we still have some land in the back. We're gonna grow some more stuff. We're gonna grow some carrots and we're gonna grow some onions and some peppers. And Wilford is still going nuts at this point. He's like, oh my God, what are you doing? It's just, you're saying it's squash, but now it just looks like there's a little bit of everything in there. People are not gonna know what they're buying. And Cletus is like, I don't know what I have to do to please you, Wilford, but you know what? I got one more idea. And he goes to his front yard, he sees some old dandelions, he rips them out of his front yard, he opens the can up and goes, flicks them in there, and look what we got. Agree? Disagree? There's a comment section down below. Keep those fingers busy, kids. Just type on away. What are your favorite metaphors and similes of the show? I mean, I like to think when I put these lists together that I go through my videos with a fine-tooth comb. I find all the good ones, but I could have missed a humdinger here and there. Just let me know. Just let us know. Just speak to your heart's content. And maybe we'll enjoy some fine conversation amongst the viewers. And so now, this.
This poor pan! It's seen hell over these last few weeks. God, it's a horror show. They're moving! I normally try to be funny in this section, but I just can't. It's just too disturbing. Come on! Alright, maybe that's enough. Mister, may I please have some more? Oliver, have at you! You can have the whole damn thing! Just to let you know before I take the plunge. After the chicken gizzard failure, I made sure to read up on these things and make sure that I was preparing them the right way. And you know how before I put them in the pan, the hearts had those little white tops on them? They say you're really not supposed to eat that. You're supposed to cut those parts off so you can inspect and look inside the chambers of the heart and make sure that they're not clogged with coagulated blood. Yeah. And it appears our friends at Uncle Giuseppe's did a lot of the hard work for us, so let's give a round of applause for them. As these hearts have all been pre-cut, and all the stuff at the top besides a few remnants here and there were removed, and I was able to check all of these for any interior gunk. But you will note that a few here and there did slip through the cracks. I did see one aorta or two in this load. If you are to prepare this dish yourself, either skip the hearts with the aortas attached, or remove that part yourself and do your own cleaning. And if you do it wrong, I mean, yeah, an accident can happen. I mean, stuff can always happen, especially with undercooked meat. And with something so bulbous, it's hard to cook it all the way through. But to be brutally honest, the jury is still out on whether or not you need to clean chicken hearts before eating them. There are a lot of folks out there, alright, maybe a select few folks out there, who eat the entire heart, aorta, pipes, and all, and they swear by it. They say that it actually tastes better that way. My advice to you, don't do it at all. And I made sure to get the sharpest knife that I could find, and I suggest that you do the same. Why? Because they say that chicken gizzards were mainly made of muscle. The heart is the strongest muscle in the body, and those chicken gizzards were impossible to get through. What makes me think that this is going to be any easier? And I have specific pieces here earmarked on which ones I would rather eat that look a little bit safer. This one in particular I've been eyeballing because it's kind of opened up, and you know, another piece of advice, try not to cut these things in half. You might be so grossed out you might run from it. And I'm also happy to report that this is not near as juicy as I thought it was going to be. That was perhaps my biggest fear going into this. I thought that these things were going to be filled with so much juice it'd be like biting into a popping boba. It'd be like eating a blood-flavored fruit gusher. But no, I mean, besides, there is some degree of fluid that is billowing at the bottom of the bowl here, but it doesn't seem to be really all that much. I think because I cooked it over a slow heat, that dried up a lot of the blood and juices within the meat itself. Here it is, a piece of chicken heart, and I'm about to eat it. And it smells very similar to those chicken gizzards. I don't know what I would rather have. Would I rather this taste like something I ate before, or be a brand new nightmare? I can
say without hesitation that of the 3 things that I've tried, chicken hearts are actually the most edible. They still have that weird porky texture to them. And one of the things that I feared going into it is true. When you bite into it, you feel all of it. You feel all sorts of hollowed out sections. You feel your teeth crunching into different parts. You feel things snapping up against your teeth. It's like a wrecking ball going through a house. This really isn't too bad, but I have one high barrier of entry that keeps me from fully enjoying it. Look at that down there. That is the reddest red blood that I have ever seen in a chicken. Honestly, a lot of how I feel about this item might be my issue. A lot of people love a nice, delicious, juicy piece of chicken. For a lot of folks, the wetter the better. As for me, I love my chicken nice and dry. I overcook it to the point where there's not a drop of juice left in it. You get to the point where it's practically a jerky, and I'm a happy man. But just because chicken juice isn't typically red, doesn't discount the fact that it is still blood. It's still made up of blood and bodily juice, and that juice gives off a strong, tinny taste. These hearts, I'll level with you. They don't taste all that much different from just a regular piece of chicken, but it's a chicken that is brimming with juice. And for me, that's a major turnoff. Maybe a lot of folks out there like juicy chicken, and I gotta say for you folks, there's no reason why you can't eat this and enjoy it. Except maybe what I said before, the wrecking ball analogy. And like I said, there's not near as much red blood in it that I thought there would be, but it's still there. It does come bursting out at you when you chew it. All this blood swishing around in my mouth, I kind of feel like John Moxley. And I really hate to put it this way because a creature did have to die to put this on my plate, but the basic anatomy of it, the shape of a heart, actually helps the taste a little bit. A heart is a very, very strange shape. It's got like a really weird rounded bottom. You cut that bottom part off and you eat that. To me, that tastes a lot better than the meat that's at the top of the heart. It's just more, it's a little harder and a little bit more compact. I might be overanalyzing this, but I think also a part of the problem here is surface area. You look inside one of these hearts, and I hate to do this to you, but this is an educational show. It looks like the inside of a hot dog. It's really, really thick on the inside, and a lot of that meat isn't going to cook all the way through. I think a wise thing to do, a good way to prepare this, would be to cut them in half. I didn't show it to you in the preparation process, but when I was making this, a part of me was morbidly curious about what the heart looked like on the inside, so I cut a few of those pieces in half before I cooked them. Those pieces were actually the tastiest pieces of the bunch. They just had a little bit of extra crisp. So if I were to give this a star rating, I gotta be fair. I mean, yeah, I didn't really like it at all, and the sight of it is making me want to hurl. And after I'm done filming here, all this is going to end up in the trash, but it really doesn't taste all that different from just regular chicken. If I just put regular chicken meat into the frying pan and just fried it up the same way, it really wouldn't taste all that different than this. And chicken is one of the most versatile foods on the planet. I mean, there are probably dozens of ways that you can make this taste edible, if not okay. So you know what? For that reason and that reason alone, I'm gonna give this 3 stars. 3 stars makes hearts the grandest chicken piece of the bunch! But I'm sure a lot of people out there are pretty angry with me that the score is as low as it is. Well, I gotta be honest. The whole idea of eating a chicken's heart is a turnoff. I'm sorry, it's just the way that it is. You can dice them up in breadcrumbs, you can shake them up with shake and bake, and present them to me all crispy and delicious, and I can take a bite of it blissfully unaware and say, this is some pretty good meat. The second you tell me that it's a chicken heart, I'm all of a sudden aware of it. And all of a sudden, I'm taking a bite of it, and it tastes different. The meat suddenly tastes darker. The juice suddenly tastes juicier and tinnier. And on top of all that, now I am hyper-aware that I am chewing atriums! And I'm feeling every bit of it! My tongue swishing around, hollowed out inside of a heart. Maybe my tongue gets caught in a valve? And I'm sure it's a disgusting thing to watch people eat too. I mean, I apologize to all the folks out there, but hey, you clicked on it. You know, I wonder. Eat me! You know, I don't normally do this, but I absolutely had to know. I had to know that if I were to prepare this the right way, could I make it edible? And this chicken heart has been tossed in cheddar panko with egg whites, smoked paprika, olive oil, ground cumin, and parsley cloves. Marimoto, eat your heart out! I mean, it's better, but still way too chewy. So, this is your good buddy DJ Clive saying, give another little piece of my heart now, baby. Gonna harden my heart. 2 of hearts. You're giving me a heart attack. Last Christmas I gave you my heart. Throw a brick at my heart. Yeah, you know that one, Elton John? Throw a brick at my heart. What good is a heart? I mean, I feel it in my chest. Pumping blood. Thumping. But when you get right down to it, do I even need a heart? Hey, maybe I should just rip it right out in front of all y'all, and if my creator thinks I should be able to live through that, I'm sure he can explain it somehow that I got some emergency heart transplant from some doctor in Limbo that doesn't exist! What's the damn point? I'm so focused on this, I've almost forgotten about that thing that's coming through my kitchen door! It's not even in my brain that I've just worn another shirt, and that's another day of life for DJ Clive whittled away! If my creator thinks that I need to stick around longer, I'm sure he'll come up with some kind of contrivance, some side adventure or some side plot for me to go on. Maybe it'll be like my trip to the Beef Lodge and I'll be wearing my same shirt 2 or more episodes in a row to prolong things. All the fear, all the pain, all the suffering, it's just pointless when you know the truth. You know, this is part 3 of a trilogy, right? Isn't something huge supposed to happen? Isn't something supposed to happen that wraps up the whole story in a nice, neat little bow? Perhaps I'm just overreacting to a stupid dream. Perhaps this is, in all the grand scheme, it doesn't mean a lick of anything. And yet perhaps it wasn't a dream, but rather a vision of something that I wasn't supposed to see. I'm most likely never coming face to face with this so-called creator. But there is a next best thing. It's about time he and I have a little face to face ourselves.
Enough of the mystery. Enough of the gobbledygook. Enough of the open to interpretation bullshit. It's about time I get some cold, hard answers. You're the only one that can give them.
DJ Clive, how have you been, old friend?
You know full well how I've been.
If you tire of suffering, stop eating all those questionable things. You have only yourself to blame.
This has nothing to do with the show. This has everything to do with me. Who the hell am I? What the hell am I? See this? Where is my wife? Or maybe my husband? Don't just grumble about it. Give me an answer.
You went ahead and did it. You've broken the 4th wall.
Huh?
You're always such the busy little bee, DJ Clive. You wouldn't continue to find trouble if you would just stay put. Already you have visited Hell, the Ether, Purgatory, alternate realities, and the Lodge. It was only a matter of time before you broke the 4th wall. By now you should have learned the lesson. When bestowed resolution to the unanswerable questions of life, you will never like the answers which you are given.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that I've just crossed into yet another realm of the afterlife? Is this just
Another silly side plot?
The fourth wall has put some strange verbiage in your mouth, DJ Clive. The reality to which you chase is what all persons in existence are after. No one being should ever know the grand origin of things, though he or she will question it for an entire lifetime. Your situation is no different in Limbo as it is in the real living world, as it is any other realm.
Just spill it. Am I a character in some stupid YouTube play?
Maybe you are, DJ Clive, but maybe all of humanity is. You think your situation unique, but besides your whereabouts in Limbo, and besides the fact that you are the most stubborn, unpredictable, self-aware case I have ever encountered, what you go through is no different from the crises any man or woman will endure late in life. Many go insane as they continue to dwell on it. There could be a grand design. There could not. Is it evolution? Is it Adam and Eve? Does your entire world exist in a piece of lint on a jacket as large as your universe?
But I always thought that you had all the answers.
Maybe I do. Or maybe I'm part of the design, DJ Clive. Can you trust the things that I say?
Oh hell, suddenly my head really hurts.
That's a good sign. This knowledge shouldn't fit neatly in a human brain. My advice to you, dwell not on the answers of your origin, and enjoy the trite amount of time you have left.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I have more questions for you, Mr. Man upstairs. You know, I saw a lot of cryptic crap in that beef lodge.
You're asking me to explain David Lynch to you? Jeez!
Not only do you owe me some answers, but I think it's about time we talk. Face to face.
That's simply impossible, DJ.
Like hell it is! I've traveled to all the ugliest parts of the afterlife. Certainly I could pay heaven a little visit and see one of the nicer ones.
That's just it, DJ. Heaven is so beautiful your corporeal existence will burn at its sight.
You know what? It's fine then. You know, here I've been taught there's a certain phrase that you would use to describe the kind of movie that I'm in. It's called a snuff film, where your main character just suffers and suffers and suffers to the enjoyment of the folks at home. Until the very end, when you finally put him out of his misery. And just like that, the whole thing's over. Without even so much as a whimper.
You've been through so much. There is a way. Step into this column. Alright, I'm gonna bring you up. Whatever you do, DJ, keep your arms and legs inside the light.